All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Rise Urban Nation. This is going to be a special episode because I get to bring somebody back who's a friend, colleague, confidant of mine, and she brings a whole wealth of knowledge when it comes to the PR side of the house of things. So we decided we're going to do a couple takes together just to see how we can just give some of this knowledge that stays up inside her brain and share it with the people. Angela, real quick, run down, tell people a little bit about yourself, your agency, what you do, and then we'll go into some discussion in this first episode to talk about how people can use podcasts to promote their book. I know it's a conversation me and you both talked about, and you had some great tips, and we'll get into that. But first, give a quick introduction to the folks.
Hey everyone, my name is Angela Lewis. I'm the owner of ALA Public Relations. We are a boutique PR firm that focuses on getting leaders and experts connected with podcast hosts to help them grow their business, build their brands, and get in front of their target market. A little bit about me and why I started this business is that I've published 4 books. I did all of the media outreach myself. I've produced podcasts. I had 2 podcasts, and I understood the challenges on both sides. And so decided to launch our agency to help bridge that gap. Also, a fun fact, I used to play basketball, professional basketball. I coached college basketball, so I had a lot of media attention when playing sports. And so I understand kind of what it takes to be able to present well in front of the media, and I'm excited to help other people do the same.
Yes, I love that. And I love that you bring all that knowledge and wisdom and you've been able to turn it into a business and help folks. Now, when we were talking about first doing this, it was like, let's see how we could break it down into like quick tips and bits for us. How did you come up with the idea of using podcasts to promote your book?
Well, I knew that podcasts were growing and there were so many podcasts, and it was a little harder to get on like radio and TV because you only have a short amount of time where you're trying to have these interviews. And so honestly, I just started pitching and asking people if they would let me come on and talk about the contents of my book, but the contents of my book were designed to help their audience. So I didn't pitch and say, hey, can I come on your podcast to talk about myself and my book? It's like, no, here's what I'm talking about and why I think it's valuable. So I just was looking for any way to promote my book, and podcast became a part of the strategy.
I love that. I love that. Now, what are the benefits of promoting your book through a podcast compared to other methods?
That's a really, really important question. So let's use TV interviews, for example. Most TV segments are 5-7 minutes. If you're lucky, you'll get on 2 segments. And so on TV, you can't talk for an extended period of time about your knowledge base. So podcasts are great because you're able to talk for 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the length of the show, about what you know, about how your work helps people. So time is a big factor in what makes podcasts a really great avenue for explaining the contents of your book.
Nice. Now, how do you determine which podcast would be the best fit for promoting your book?
So the first thing you want to do is to just think about and decide who your book is for. So if your book, let's say you're a nutritionist or a consultant who teaches on leadership development, then you're looking for podcasts where the host is talking about those topics. You review the other people that they've interviewed, and there are people who have the same or similar expertise as you. And so that's how you determine first, is thinking about the audience that your book is serving, and then finding the shows that align with the audience that you're serving.
I love that. Now, what's some advice you would give to authors who are just starting to explore using podcasts to promote their book? Because I feel some of us are like, I don't even know where to start.
So new authors, if you're a new author, the first step is decide on your audience again. The second step is to go into Apple iTunes, right? For those who have iPhones, you go to Apple iTunes, or you can go, if you don't have an iPhone, you can go to Google Podcasts, and you there's a search bar. So you search for the term. So again, if we use the nutritionist, for example, you can type in nutrition or health and wellness, and you can see those podcasts that actually are talking about that topic. And then you can go to those hosts' website and get that contact information and reach out if you want to reach out yourself. The other alternative, of course, is to hire a company like ours to be able to help you through that process. But first, identify your market. Second, research to see what's out there. And then third, reach out to people. A lot of them.
Like sometimes you gotta get a lot of no's to get to a yeses. But
Look,
hey, if you want to skip all that process together, I know I do sometimes. I say leave it to Angela and her team of professionals. They could get you going. But I noticed you had these amazing tips that you gave, and I want to share this with the people. You got like 5 amazing tips that we could leave with our audience on how do you tips for using podcasts to promote your book. And I want you to just kind of walk us through these tips and give us your take on these tips and why you kind of put them as your 5 tips. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you get the floor because I don't think I could do the justice to try to explain these tips after I seen them that you could probably give it.
Sure, absolutely. So the first thing is, of course, secure a podcast interview. Secure an interview. So you may have to reach out to 100 podcasts to get 10 interviews, right? But once you get the interview, here's how you have a great interview. The first thing is you want to think about the message that you want to give to your audience. You want a clear, concise message and a great framework that the audience can remember. So maybe there's an acronym that you utilize when you're talking about your subject matter. A great example is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey and the Covey Institute, they've been talking about that for years. It's a clear framework that explains how to be effective, right? So what's your framework and what's your message? That's number 2. Number 3, give people some exclusive insights or share something that they can't find out just by Googling your name. So you want to make the conversation engaging, and you want people to feel like they're getting an exclusive behind the scenes insight into you and into your book. So I know we like to put a lot out there, but keep something back for when you have your interviews so the host can know and feel that you've been selective with the information you provide. Okay. The fourth way is to think about in advance your call to action. So at the end of the interview, the hosts always say, how can people reach you? Have something that the people can go and download so that the listeners can receive from you that is helpful to them. So maybe it's the first chapter of your book that's helpful. Maybe it's your framework. Again, the example of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Maybe there's a part of that framework that you give away on your landing page or on your website that they can download. But have your call to action clear and make sure that your call to action includes something that helps the listeners. And then the 5th way is already have in mind how you're going to help promote the episode. A lot of times people will assume just because they're on the podcast, the work is finished. Well, you have an audience too. So you, in addition to the host promoting the podcast, you want to make sure that you have your promotional plan in place to put on social media, to list those podcasts on your website. Be sure to have that in mind so that you can maximize the exposure. And the bonus tip is...
Ooh, a bonus?
There's a bonus. Yes.
Okay, look at you.
I know you weren't
over
ready.
here
I didn't tell you
giving
about the
game
bonus.
And doing the same thing you just told us to do. You about to... I see you
Of
out
course.
here.
Of course. I have to. So let me give you the 5 again and then the bonus. First,
Okay, go ahead.
reach out to the relevant podcast within your genre. So get booked on a show first. Second, Have your message clear and concise. Remember that framework that you're going to leave them with. So clear, concise message is number 2. Number 3, share exclusive content. What's something people don't know about you or something they don't know about the book that's not readily available. Number 4, have a really clear call to action with a giveaway that helps your audience. And then number 5, have a promotional plan in place to promote on social media or your email list.
I love. I was as you were going through that 5, I was going through my head what you had said through this whole interview. I was like, she literally just did the framework, told us the framework, and then gave it to us again. Oh, that's genius.
I'm glad you found that helpful. And here's the bonus. The bonus is repurpose the content from the interview. So make clips. So you're going to post about the interview, right? I was on Rise Urban Nation. I'm so glad I had the conversation with Terrell, right? That's your post and you have a graphic. Terrell and his team does an amazing job of graphics. But then after that, you can utilize that content because it's evergreen. So you can create reels, you can create blog posts, you can create emails that you send out. So repurpose the content is the bonus.
Nice. And you know, that's something that goes a long way as we started repurposing our content. I know we start getting more reach, getting connected to more folks. I was like, where'd you find this at? Oh, such and such shared it. And you never know who you're going to connect with or who it may land in their inbox or across their social media feed, and how it can really amplify and elevate, you know, your message, your voice, or the work that you're doing out there. So love these tips. Angela, call to action. Where can people connect with you?
So if you would like to have these tips in a more concise format, go to mypodcastinterview.com and you can download these tips and you'll be able to use them to help you have a great interview to promote your book.
There you go. There you have it. Give them the website one more time.
mypodcastinterview.com.
I love it. I love it. And I hope these tips help you amplify your voice, your message, your brand, and the great work that you're doing. And we're going to try to do more of these on the occasional basis to give you more amazing tips to help you grow your audience and grow your show and grow your message. So thank you for tuning in. Angela, thank you again. Any last words of wisdom for the people before we head out?
Your words are important and you want to make sure that you're ready for your interview. So continue to talk about your business, continue to share what you know, and good things will happen.
Love it. Love it. Share what you know and good things will happen. Thank you for showing up, and we'll catch you on the next time.